The city of Quincy is a small community. We have around 7,000, but in the surrounding areas, the total population is closer to 13,000.
My husband's family's been here since 1902. This place was nothing 100 and some years ago.
When the water came in with the Bureau of Reclamation project in the early 50s, that's when it really boomed, because obviously instead of just dry land farming, they now had irrigation.
Before the data centers came to Grant County, Quincy was just another rural farming community, struggling to find jobs for its folks.
The word was out that there were starting to be a new industry coming, and they were called server farms. And that's why you see on the Quincy signs where it says agriculture meets technology.
Data centers are where the cloud is. They hold all the information and services that people access every day on the internet.
If you lived here, 10 years ago, your job was agricultural related. At the same time, I'm watching all these data centers get built, and I'm going, how do I get my foot in the door, and how do I get that opportunity?
Part of the vision that we had back in the early 2000s was being able to put redundant fiber in the community to attract business.
As an original sponsor of the data center bill, I wanted to bring something new to our rural communities.
When we use tax policy to incentivize businesses to locate here, it's usually for one simple reason, and that is we want to grow jobs.
We currently have 6 data centers in Quincy, and they employ around 400 full-time people.
Data centers represent a tremendous investment in the community. Local governments can adequately fund fire, they can adequately fund police, other public services that they weren't able to do before.
One of the first projects that we did was this new library, one of the first capital projects.
One of the other benefits that we didn't really think about that really actually has happened is they've had the impact of lowering property taxes for the regular people that just live there.
The data centers in total make up about 50% of our assessed valuation, which means anytime you have a hospital levy or a school district levy, the data centers are picking up half that cost.
Well, we have a great advantage in this area. So it's a great spot as a superintendent where you can collect more money and actually ask the voters to pay less. Quincy School District, we have about 2,850 students. About 82% of our students fall below the poverty line.
I've seen a lot of the cities sort of swell during harvest season. And so they come and then they leave. Maybe with an opportunity of a data center bringing new jobs, then maybe this can be a much more permanent base.
At the height of the data center construction, there was around 1,000 construction workers here. And so they eat in our restaurants, they stayed in our motels, they shop in our stores.
We've been able to work continually, and so we have a steady paycheck. Our union membership is growing dramatically since this happened. We're hiring apprentices as fast as we can take them. The IBEW Local 191, we have electricians working on this job from all over the states, on both sides of the mountains.
For the first time after the data centers came here, those jobs were available locally. 500 of the jobs at the data centers pay $30 an hour or more. And so these are really good jobs.
It has attracted allies that aren't usually allies. You don't often see environmental groups, business, and labor agree on much of anything. But this is one of those examples where they have. This is something that is good for our communities.
Because this town has diversified so much, we've been able to have the opportunity to have this better lifestyle because of this job.
It's all about growing jobs, which then returns people to the local economies, and it makes the coffee shop down the street sell a few more lattes.
You talked to Harriet down at the granary today, and she's probably living proof of what rural communities believe in and how we try to present ourselves.
One of the biggest opportunities has been the box lunches. It's helped our business quite a bit.
Grant County and Quincy in particular have developed over the past 8 years a series and set of infrastructure that's typically only found in metropolitan areas like Seattle or Portland.
The state of Washington has made a commitment to using our tax policy to incentivize businesses to locate here, particularly businesses that grow jobs, family wage jobs. The nature of our economy is so much more mobile today than it ever has been in the past. We have to adjust tax policy and the way in which we attract businesses to reflect the realities of the 21st century.
Without these tax incentives, these companies, these worldwide and national companies, would not have located in Quincy, Washington.
The rest of the country and the world has seen this opportunity and is doing what they can to be competitive and to bring those businesses to their communities as well.
When we're here and there's work continual and the books are empty and everybody's going out for work and you have, steady employment, you feel empowered.
I never dreamt we would be having the companies that with international names, international acclaim in our small community.
And one of the things that's really kind of cool about this community is it's always been very caring and very giving. They really understand what it means to be a good neighbor and a good friend.
My husband's roots go back so deep. A small town with people that care about each other is a good way to feel really grounded in your life. And so it's important here.
It's fantastic that I get to live in the same town I grew up in. You have that small town atmosphere that really brings a sense of family. There's lots of people that work in these data centers that live locally, and you can see the change that's brought to the community. I like to think of it as a reinvigoration of pride and joy in the town.